What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to give you 5 Lightroom tips on how to upgrade your photos, and I'll also be telling you what not to use too much, stuff like that for like beginners. So today I'm going to be using unedited photos of canola. It's saturation, so saturation can be very good, and also vibrance and saturation are probably the most used in terms of like it just really depends on your subject. If your subject is a person, I wouldn't really use it, saturation, unless you can mask out the person out of the area and make sure that everything else is also colorful, like if it's like an artwork and stuff like that, because otherwise you'll make the person look red. In terms of that, it's pretty decent. It's very good. So for example, this guy, it's not a great photo of him because it's literally the back of him. So if I was going to use saturation on here, see how it doesn't really give you a red thing, but it looks like he's Homer Simpson. It looks like he's Homer Simpson, and like he's just went for a massive tan, for a massive. And then if I use vibrance of this, it'll make him and everything else look very unrealistic in the world. So I wouldn't use saturation too much. I'll only use it up to at least 20%, 20 plus, or even 25, if that. Because otherwise it's just gonna be too much color and it just look fake. So that's because I used to get feedback for saturation and stuff like that. Because whenever I have like a person or stuff like that, and when I was beginning, my people would literally have red on them because I would just go 100% on everything in terms of color, because I was just starting out. So, and then the second one is contrast. Contrast is probably my favorite thing that I used to overuse. Because I like to have my subjects really dark. I don't know why. I still do it to this day, not too much, because I've learnt to, not go like this. I go like that, because it just looks terrible. And if you use that with saturation, my person's just blown out and overexposed. And so I usually only like to use about 20 to 30% like saturation again. Because otherwise it's going to be too dark. It really depends. If you're shooting with building stuff, then yes, use saturation. Contrast, it's contrast. Contrast is good for black and white and color as well. I usually like to use it in black and white most of the time, but usually if it depends on the subject and what photo I want to take. So if I'm taking photos of buildings, I usually like to use contrast with black and white, because black and white with contrast is always good. And the third one is presets. So I only have like a few presets I usually use for my own, in terms of that. So uses presets. So I usually have the black and white, and then long exposures with cars. Long exposure with cars, because one of my buddies a few years ago, he took a photo of his BMW, and where we did some long exposures with the phone torch, and we did some coloring and stuff like that as well with that. And these are all mine. I'm not selling presets. I'm just telling you if you want to make your own, you can, but just be careful with what you're using. So Lightroom does recommend either all subtle, strong, black and white, or cool, or warm. I don't know. I don't really use Lightroom presets too much, because I usually just like to do my own customization. Yes, it's probably the best thing if you want to have photos bam, like quickly. In terms of that, I don't really use Lightroom's recommended presets. Only if it actually makes it good, then I'll obviously adjust that preset. The fourth one is masking. I've only just used masking recently, which is bad, because I should have done it ages ago. It's very helpful in terms of, especially with Lightroom's new thing now. Well, I don't know if it's actually new, but in terms of I'm quite new with masking, so I'm just telling you now, masking is amazing. So if you want to select your subject, Lightroom would obviously try and detect the subject. So let's say if I want to really make him Casper the Ghost, there you go. Show overlay, look at that. He's completely gone. He's completely gone if I use 100% exposure, and if I do that, he is very dark. Then I can just literally only use, or I can just basically just play around with all these things only on that guy. And then the fifth one is probably my favorite thing to do. I think everyone should obviously do this in terms of organizing your thing. So if I wanted to, so this is like a stars format. So down here you have all these stars. So you can obviously go 2-star, and that will put into the 2-star thing in Lightroom. And then that way, if you'll go like this, go like that, it'll probably try and find it. Yeah, no, okay. So, yeah. Oh, where's the photo gone? Anyways, so yeah, using the 2 stars and stuff like that, using the stars down here, it's obviously quite helpful. And then obviously, if you want to go across here, go to recent edits, and if you only want to find the 5 stars, it'll find the 5 stars for you. See how all these photos have been 5-star, because I obviously do like them. But you can also change that with just 4-star, or 3-star, or 2-star. And it's quite helpful in terms of organizing your photos when you're trying to find them. You can obviously find them by date, or you can obviously just use that in terms of, or you can go up here and go like that. I want to find 2 stars. Anyway, there's the first one there. Or you can just change it to just him by himself. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy those 5 Lightroom tips to upgrade your photos and obviously organize and make everything quicker. Hope you guys enjoy this one, and I'll see you in the next one.